Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Karen.
Right, so I'm going to talk to you about cyber safety and internet safety. And a lot of the resources and a lot of people are talking about it in the context of the younger learner, but there's not a great deal going on in the context of the older learners. And I was talking to somebody in Deeside College, because I talk to colleges all over the place, and she asked me if I wanted to go in and see this session being delivered, and that is a real welcome change, because not very often I actually get in to see the lessons and the sessions. So I just thought I'd share this with you, and the idea of all of the resources and the good practice that was happening actually being shared via NGFL Cymru, which is great for everybody. In the folder for everything, you've got the whole lot. So you've got the session plan, which shows you how the session was delivered. And what I liked about it was Caroline didn't introduce herself, so to be just like me walking in here, you don't know who I am, and I start just chatting away and asking you questions, and the amount of information that was coming back, you know, like where do you live, oh, do your kids use this school, how do they get to that school, do they walk, do they catch the bus, and all this was coming, just normal general conversation. And the age range for the people in this session were from 16 up to adult learners of early 60s, I think, really. And within the session, you could actually start to see the lights going on in people's minds and thinking, my goodness, where have I just I've just said my 7-year-old's photographs on my Facebook. He walks to school, which school he goes, what time he goes. And it was one of the most inspirational sessions that I've sat in, to see people actually realising what's happening. Caroline made a great use of different pieces of software and different technologies in the session. And there was no preconception from anybody in the room as to what was going to happen. They didn't know who Caroline was. They didn't know who Caroline was for about another 10 minutes. And even then, she still didn't say who she was. She just said, this is my badge, and it had got nobody written on the front. I'm nobody. So all of the instructions to how to run a session in this way are now on our site in the post-16 area, because I thought it was so good. It deserved to be out for everybody, and there's also a good practice guide being written about it as well. Made use of YouTube videos, just ordinary Word documents, information slips, because part of it, as well as they were working through it, was identifying who they might be and how you would decide whether that person was who they said they were if you didn't know or you couldn't see them. There were examples of that as you were going through it. So you've got the public profile, you've got the truth, splitting them into twos and saying, right, you're this person, you've now got to decide whether this person is who they say they are. Why might you not think that? And I think the other good part about it was the difference in the age range as well. And it was, to me, it was quite interesting to see that a lot of the younger ones thought about things that a lot of the older ones didn't. And some of that information will be fed back into the good practice guide as well. And there's blank public profiles, because then what they also have to do is to think of scenarios themselves and write their own public profile and say why they think that person might not be who they think they are. Another section that Caroline did in there was, as well as doing all the practical stuff, all the discussion, and when you think about it, if they're doing quite a bit of discussion in there, there's no reason why that couldn't be evidence towards your Essential Skills Wales communications. If they're going to go away and do any statistics later to see what the statistics are. There's plenty of information on statistics for that. Then you've got your application number coming in. And there's a lot of talk about how we get essential skills Wales in naturally occurring things that people are doing. And with a bit of thought, that can be done. But one of the other parts of it was using something called Xerte, which is Xerte. And it's free, open source software that can be downloaded from JISC TechDis. And it's an amazing piece of software, very easy to use. I'm not a technical person, and it didn't take me very long to be able to use it. There's a free sandbox so that you can actually there start to play with it yourselves without fear of doing any damage to anything. You can download it on your network servers and have it as a toolbox so that people can play with it. And what it actually does is give you a learning object that's automatically accessible. So it's got all the accessibility functions built into it. And it's a really nice piece of software. And the interface is very straightforward. You get your thing there, you just say, right, I just want to add some text, I want to add a hotspot image, I want to add a YouTube video. And it's all right thinking, right, it's okay, she can stand there and say this because she knows how to do it, but honestly, it's not a difficult thing to do. And we've been, at NGFL, we've been doing quite a bit of work with Xerte, talking to TechDis and talking to other people about how we can make some paper-based PDF documents a little bit more interactive and a little bit more interesting by using the Xerte piece of software. You can put videos in there. There's Xerte Friday, so there's information on a Friday for a half hour or an hour session as to how you can use it. It might be using Xerte in basic skills, it might be in beauty and beauty therapy, it might be in construction, it might just be how you put a video in there. And those are at your desk, but if you can't make it to that session, they're all available as videos as well. So Caroline making use of this is also such a different way of saying, right, we need content, so let's look at what we can put in there. We've already got this here. Not everybody's got flash skills. Not everybody can do all the flashy whizzy stuff. Whereas Xerte is free, it's open source. We've got links to it on the site. We've got the Xerte objects on there for you to look at. And we've got everything else that came within this session with your complete session plan to be able to run it. Links to the resource are up there, but you'll be able to get access to this afterwards. And I really must suggest to you that you go and have a look at it, and have a look at how the session's run, and maybe give it a try, and let us know how you get on with it, because I think in the last 10 years, it's one of the most inspirational sessions that I actually saw and linked to the post-16, 14 to 19 age, rather than stranger danger for the smaller and the younger learners. It really did bring that message home, and I think the sharing of the good practice on the website is key to it all. So thank you.
Excellent, thank you, Karen. Thank you.